Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have with me today Jonathan Solomon. You've been on the channel before, but thank you for coming back on here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy past couple weeks and all that, but I'm straight. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, me too, man. We were talking a little bit off camera. We got a lot going on. There's a lot.
Mhm.
There's a lot
Mhm.
going on.
A lot, yep.
I think a year ago there wasn't a lot going on necessarily,
Not a lot at all.
and now it's like back to full swing.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Like it's a weird full swing too, because it's like like a moderate full swing. How about that? Where it's
right,
like, oh yeah, put the mask on, but everybody come
right.
everybody come through. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's very fun.
and I think I learned some things during the quarantine to have to say no to some stuff because I value, we were just talking about that, valuing being with family, and you were just saying how you had opportunities that normally you'd want to jump on, but you gotta put out those guards, not to you gotta take
Yeah.
care of yourself. And I
And
know you're a busy guy because you've been planning a lot of things, and specifically
a lot of things.
this event that I want to talk about today, the
Yeah.
Transcend Conference. So
Mhm.
I remember you telling me months ago on a phone call, I think you're like, I'm planning something. It's going to be later, next year or whatever. And so
Yeah.
we're here,
Yeah.
we're upon it. Tell us, I guess, briefly what it is. We can get back to that, but like what led up to what this is, the Transcend Conference, and
Yeah.
just tell us some stuff.
Yeah. Bro, it's crazy how next year turned into next week. Someone literally told me, was it yesterday? They were like, hey, bro, just wanted to make sure, like, is there anything else you need from me next week? And I was like, next week? Like,
What did you
enjoy
talk
this
about?
next week. Whoa. Anxiety turns up to level 30, but not the Transcend Conference, just a conference where we're going to preach Jesus. Like every single preacher is going to be preaching on a specific aspect of salvation. So,
Mm.
but the lens is like our tagline is a celebration of Christ in culture, and and really it could just be a celebration of Christ through the lens of like Black culture in particular, because the end goal still is like we just want to magnify Jesus.
Mm.
But there, uh, I just think it's always good to highly emphasize. Like I almost think about it like you have like if somebody has like a bunch of kids and every single one of the kids like they're dope. But
Mm.
there are some days where you like, I just want to highlight the dopeness of this one child, not to the chagrin of the rest of the children, but I just want it to be seen. I want it to be experienced like, yo, this kid is just really good at making brookies. You ever heard of those, the brownie cookie maker?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, yo, this kid is so good at making brookies. I want this to be seen. I want all of the siblings to experience it. And then next week, the kid who's really good at making telescopes from scratch, we're gonna
right.
highlight them. But today it's the brookies kid. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of like the like we just want to see, the manifest presence of God just like illuminated through this lens, and even hopefully it could be just a really dope fellowship experience and learning experience for those who desire to learn more. But if not, even if they're just like, no, we just want to come to like worship, it's like, hey man, come do that because we gonna
Right.
do a whole lot of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just February.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I'm
No, right.
I'm glad this is in September because it's just a normal rhythm.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I love the idea of the conference ever since I heard about it because it was like I feel like a lot of people like celebrating Christ in culture, like you said, like
Mm,
you love all your kids
yeah.
equally, but you could celebrate a kid, and so I think a lot of people have this like false dichotomy that if they celebrate culture, then they're excluding Christ, or if you're focused on Christ, then culture doesn't matter, and I mean
Yeah.
that's so far from the truth.
I agree. And I think Yeah, I think it's tough because, just like specifically in America, we just have so many historical categories that we have built in our head. And this is at like every ethnicity, and even the highlighted black and white. I'm like, even within black people, they're just like these, no, but if we do this, like we can't do this. And it's like, no, let's get rid of that. Like there is no reason that kind of us emphasizing this should make anyone else feel alienated or anything else, especially because we want you there. Like we want you to be a part of this celebration with us because we tasted the brookies. Like
That's
we
right.
know that the brookies are good, and we're just like, look, we're not saying that you eating, like if you eat these brookies, you'll understand what we've been saying the whole time. Like you'll taste these and be like, yo, why did you leave me out of this? And be like, man, I'm sorry. Like, look, here they are. Like,
Right,
so yeah,
right.
yeah, we love, specifically the team that's doing this. We love celebrating, celebrating just the way that Jesus has shown himself, just has manifest his glory through all the different like ethnicities and cultures within like ethnic groups. And so yeah, we're really excited to do that, and we want to do it with like all of our friends and family. So yeah.
Yeah. So to be clear, we're celebrating black culture, but
Mhm.
everyone's invited.
Yeah, of course.
You
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
website, which if they're interested right now and they want to go read more about it, where do they go?
Yeah, so www.transcendconference.com. Easy tag on that. Then social medias will all be on the website too, because
Yeah.
I don't remember all three of them. Praise God for teams that run things, because I would be no good if I ran everything. But the bad part is I don't remember every single thing. I know on Instagram it's Transcend Conference. I forget what the Twitter is and the Facebook is, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
please do go look at those. We're excited, y'all. We really are. Like, as it comes down to the wire, I'm like more nervous about details and all these things. But when it happens, I'm like, I was just at the church yesterday. We're doing that. And I'm like, I'm just so hyped to be able to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pumped too. I remember looking at the website. You guys said, I think, or maybe it was an interview or something, but you were like, we have that Revelation 7 vision
Yeah.
where every tribe, every
Yeah.
tongue will worship together. And I was thinking, we should be practicing that right now in the here and now, because I've had, I've heard people question, like, why should we care to mingle cultures together? Isn't it just easier to just stay in our lane until we get there,
Mhm.
and on one hand you're like, yeah, it's easier, it could be easier, but
Yeah.
it's not. That's not the point. You're missing out on so much, and there's so much that we can learn. I was thinking we can learn about God and ourselves from being around other cultures, and it's
Yeah.
like we're practicing for eternity. And so that's another reason I was like, man, this needs to be talked about. If nothing else, on this channel we get people from all over, and so maybe they
Yeah.
can read, go to the website if they can't join, if they're not in the area. um, this might spark some like ideas for other people to be like, man, we can do this
Yeah. Right.
in
Right.
in in our context, and I think that would be
Right.
awesome. And doing this more often can
Right.
only help.
Yeah, yeah, no, and we definitely kind of have some ideas even for like subsequent to this conference. But yeah, even to what you were saying, one of my favorite biblical like stories, and the Lord like really rocks me with this, is Peter in the book of Acts. Like he chilling and the Lord puts him into a trance. I think that's how they describe it, like a trance. And all these animals are lifted up that, on this blanket, that he believes that they're unclean. And then he wakes up from the trance and he's like, yo, I should go to the Gentiles. Like, no one is unclean like in Christ. Now, black people ain't the Gentiles, no other ethnicity. Like, well, I'm not saying that like they specifically are the Gentiles.
Yeah.
But there is something like we wanna be used by the Spirit to be that blanket that Peter saw in the trance. Like we just want to be like the, oh no, like I, like in Christ we all are one. And yeah, I should go fellowship with them, or I should be here. Like we want to create kind of like that going. that going to other people. And so yeah, that might have been a terrible example, but I always think about that
No,
story, and I'm just like, man, this joint is so excellent. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Because I mean, the truth is, God is the creator of everyone,
Mhm. Mhm.
and there are parts of God that you learn in nature, and there are things you learn about God in the alone times, the inner times of your devotion with Him and one on one time. There are things you learn about God in the context of corporate worship, and then we can't forget there are things you learn about God from other cultures and being around, and it broadens our view of God. And I think to our detriment, that is a big slice that we just miss out on. We don't think about it. We choose not to. It's too uncomfortable, and that's to our detriment. So when is the conference? When is it?
Yeah, so sorry. September the 17th and the 18th. It'll be in Greensboro, North Carolina at Lebanon Baptist Church. And yeah, it'll be an all-day soiree on Friday and then a most of the day soiree on Saturday. So we blocked out a lot of time just for people to be able to fellowship, hear the word, get some very entertaining panels. I think they'll be very yeah, they'll be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that, and we giving food too. So
See, see. So give us a little sneak peek of who's going to be there. I mean, they can see it on the website, but who?
yeah. So John Amuczek, which many people may not know him by name, but he's behind a lot of people that we know. He's a pastor of a church called Cornerstone in Atlanta. Yeah, he's brilliant. He's written a book on prayer for, if you ever heard of the Nine Mark series. He's written for them. He's working on even more stuff. He a couple members of his church and friends of his are none other than the Jackie Hill Perry and her husband Preston Perry, and they vouch for him very heavily. And he's just an incredible preacher. Some of the most like heartfelt, thoughtful, theologically stout sermons that I've ever heard have come from him. So he's one of them. William Branch, also known as the Ambassador, used to be a part of a hip hop group called the Cross Movement, and also rapped by himself. He's currently a professor at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. I believe he's a professor of preaching, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, so he will be here. Clint Darst, he is one of the pastors at my church. Really, just really incredible cat. He will be doing one of the talks. I'm trying to think who else I've forgotten. Pastor Hezekiah Cunningham Bay,
Yeah.
the pastor of member care at my church, also previously a member of Open Door, where
That's,
Jimmy is at, and
I did the intern. He was in the internship with me over there.
oh yeah, yeah. So incredible man of God, incredible preacher, and even his story of just like kind of his spiritual formation and even denominationally where he's come from has been almost like a tour of the Black church. And so he it's going to be incredible. And then last but not least, Dr. Robert Smith Jr., who his resume is very long, but
I'm looking at it on the website.
yeah, yeah. He is just like the best kept secret of to me of theological exposition, preaching just in general.
Wow.
And we're going to be so honored to have him there. I'm telling you now, he's like, for a lot of people, he's like their favorite preacher's favorite preacher. Like he was
Mm.
over preaching. I believe it. He was over something concerning preaching at Southern Seminary for a very long time, and then now he's at Beeson Divinity School, and he's teaching there. But incredible preacher, like has written a few books that were like some bestsellers. He's
Yeah.
great. Then worship wise, I will be singing. I'm nobody. My
You are
friend.
a worship leader.
Yes.
Since
There.
since you're the one talking, I can vouch for you. I love it when Jonathan leads, man. I mean, it blesses my soul, man. We got to lead it, the Joyful Collective. That was the last thing we did together.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it's been a minute. Yeah, we got to get together again. Yeah,
We
it's been a
do.
minute.
We're both leading chapel, but not at the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
Not the same. You doing it this semester?
I am, but I can only come. I think I'm only coming like once, just because of
Gotcha.
the drive, work, like all of that. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will. I will be there. I think in like October.
Okay.
But yes,
I might slip in there
myself
then.
come through. I'll let you know. We probably get up those days. But my friend TK Morrison, he is the music director at a church called Vertical Church. It's a part of the Summit Church Network, I believe, in Hillsborough, North Carolina. He's incredible. And I'm not saying this just because we're friends. He actually is
Mm,
just incredible. And then finally, a new friend of mine, I'm a guy named KJ Scriven. So KJ is very he's almost like the best kept secret of the worship world.
mm,
He's right now probably half of the world's favorite worship leader, Chandler Moore,
mm.
was actually taught to play the guitar by KJ Scriven, and he's
Voila.
just one of his. Yeah, he's like who he looks up to. KJ won a Grammy like back in the day for doing a song with a guy named Ty Tribbett called
Yeah.
"What Can I Do." Um,
Dude,
KJ is also
I sang a Ty Tribbett song at the summit.
really.
Yeah,
Really? Oh yeah, yeah. The Bless
they
the Lord, was that it?
yeah.
The Son
Yeah.
of Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sang that one, and then
Yeah.
one time I wasn't singing it, but I had to do the guitar part, and I remember the worship leader was like, "If you can't do it, we'll just leave it in the tracks." And I was like, I practiced so hard, and I
Yeah.
did it. I did it good enough. Bang, ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude at
Anyway,
our church, he had to learn that. He actually smashed it the first time. He was just learning how to play the electric, but he killed it. We was like, oh my
yeah.
goodness,
See,
bro.
when you're not that good and you care, you put in all the work. I showed up ready, more ready for that Sunday than any other Sunday. But yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, KJ will be there, and he's actually the guy. If you've heard the song "Man of Your Word" by Maverick City Music,
yeah,
he's the guy who sings the second verse, and he's the guy who does all the spontaneous stuff at the end. So the "I am who you say I am," that's
yeah,
KJ right there. So yeah, he's gonna be with us, and it's gonna be really fun.
yeah. That's gonna be stacked. Yeah, I mean man,
It'll
that's gonna
be
be
really
good.
fun.
Is there
Yeah,
gonna be a
so
band?
it will be.
A house
Yeah,
band?
so the band will consist of just a lot of my friends. So,
Yeah.
um, shameless plug, like for my friends, you can go listen to any song that I have done and listen to the band that's playing in that. And almost all of those people will be there, except for my friend Christopher Callahan, which is also a friend of Jimmy's. He will not be with us doing this, only because it's a first time conference and I couldn't pay to have him fly out. But
He just had to move away. What's the deal with that?
right. But yeah, so they will be there and ready. We'll have organ, keys, electric guitar, drums, bass,
Nice.
acoustic some. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll be we'll be trying to do it to it, man. So
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I hope I told you earlier I can't go because and I just hate it because I wanted to go, but I'm on staff at another church and we
yeah.
have events that very weekend.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I'm bummed about that. But people who are watching this, if you're in the area, it's in Greensboro. If you're near, make it a priority if you can go. We talked about this. We don't know. There might be an option to see some of the content online, maybe. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you can see
So
good feeling
if
about that.
if you're interested in seeing the content online, then please do by all means. You can either send us an email info@transcendconference.com. You can send an Instagram message, any of those things. And you can just kind of keep your eyes peeled on the social media and all of that stuff for when we send something out. Because it is next week, we will be sending out that info very soon. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mm.
Well, man, I appreciate you like coming through on this from the idea to it actually happening. I'll be praying for you. I hope it turns into something that's regular, something I can because go ahead and schedule the next one. I'm gonna put it on the calendar and not miss the next one. But
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you being a faithful brother in Christ and challenging people, leading worship well. Man, you do that, and I just appreciate you. Glad to have you on the channel. Is there
Wow.
anything
Yeah.
else you want to say? I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry.
No, no, no. You're totally fine. Yeah, the hope is, and I'll probably talk to you after this video is over more about ideas that we have moving forward.
Okay.
But yeah, the hope is just to continue kind of like what I call honest reconciliation, honest racial reconciliation. Not to say everybody out here lying, but but like more of like I just want to gather together the people that want to have the hard conversations and still love each other when they're over.
Mm,
I feel like those people are in low supply, and we live in a culture that just makes it so easy to leave the conversations and be like, I'm never speaking to you again, or
mm,
I'm throwing you into a category. Um, yeah, I want to get away from binaries, like as far as categories go. I would love if this could be the beginning, the few people that come, because there's a small conference, like, but I'm hoping that the few people that come, we could begin to cultivate like this like culture of like, no, we here for it, and we want to yell and scream and cry with each other and still love each other at the end of it, in hopes that this will help us push forward.
yeah.
And and yeah, I get it from people like my grandfather who was a police officer in Detroit a very long time ago, when racial unrest was very high, and still talked to my mother about like, yo, like if people are made in the image of God, then we make strives towards them.
Wow.
And yeah, to this day, I don't even know if I could have been alive at that time and said that,
Right.
but I'm trying to follow along in the the rich legacy that he's left.
Wow.
And yeah, and so I'm all for the, not the cute reconciliation that like,
Yeah.
hey, like just come to the church and let's kick it, like, and it's
Hmm.
kind of, we never talk about like the hard things, but no, like I want the yo, like, let's have a real conversation about Jonathan Edwards and George Whitfield. Like, I want that type of like, let's process, like, let's do all these things. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping that we can yeah, we can do that, man. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the hope.
I think that's the direction we need to head. Those having those conversations. I appreciate you. It's good to see God's grace in your life, man, and just following His lead. And really appreciate you. Thanks for being on the channel. Hey, if you like the video, then like it. Let us know down in the comments. Go to the website transcend.com,
Yeah,
transcendconference.com.
you got it. Yep.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the stuff's on there.
Good stuff.
Hit that up and you can see all the details. Join them if you can. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.
See you.